Welcome to a special edition of Weather Center Live. We have interrupted your regularly scheduled programming across the country as we have had tornadoes move through South Dakota. You're looking live at Wessington Springs, South Dakota, at tornado damage. We have just seen a tornado go right through this town. The damage reports, and well, obviously you're seeing the damage right here. This is from our storm tracker Brandon Ivy in Durham County in South Dakota. I'm meteorologist Mark Elliott, meteorologist Kim Cunningham here as well, and we are going to stay with these storms and stay with you, keeping you ahead of this threat as it moves through the plains tonight.
And this just happened like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, so this is just very fresh. It just moved through this city. We watched it unfold, move across the road, and come into this town and do damage as we've been seeing. We have the potential for more severe storms. We're still watching this thunderstorm producing this tornado here in South Dakota. So we're going to show you what the radar looks like. And Mark, a couple areas where we have tornado warnings.
Yeah, both in South Dakota and North Dakota now, several areas of concern. We'll start off with the storm that has produced that damage that we were just looking at here in South Dakota.
And I just think what's so fascinating with this thunderstorm is that it's just a huge thunderstorm, and you look at this, you don't see a classic signature for a tornado. It just looks like a big supercell. You don't see that hook echo, but it's right in this area here that we've been looking with Wessington Springs right here. And what you're looking at on this, the velocity data, green is towards the radar, red is away. So toward is coming this direction, and away is this direction. I'm not using the right arrow here.
Guys, this
but this area right here, the couplet is right in here, and it's just moving towards the northeast. Tornado warning in effect here. Folks in Wessington Springs just saw a tornado go through their city.
Yeah, putting this in motion, we have our weather producer Adam in the background. He has just rolled that, and you can see those red and green colors go right through town and now on the north side. So this system is still moving north. If you're in the Cherry area, if you're eventually in Kellogg, these are the areas that you need to be concerned, because that storm was still very well formed. It still looks impressive on the radar, and it is moving north. This is a direction that storms don't typically move. You wouldn't necessarily be used to seeing a tornado approach you from that direction.
Right, and so Wessington Springs, I think we're in the clear now, but now it is a little bit farther north of your area. If you're in Cherry, it's going to miss you off to the east. So if you're in Kellogg, this probably will be near you about 827. So we're still showing a strong couplet in here, still showing the rotation, still showing a tornado probably doing damage heading towards the northeast. And in Kellogg, you have till 827. Now is the time to get to your safe room.
And guys, let's bring up that video from the Wessington Springs area full, that live image coming in to us here at the Weather Channel, taking a look at that damage once again. Look at that, Kim. We have debris in the trees there. Right underneath that banner is all kinds of, it looks like a side of a house. There's the pink insulation. You have siding. So that we're looking at the aftermath of a couple of walls, if not an entire home or business that was directly hit by the storm. It also appears that the road is blocked there with some debris off to the left side of the screen, right behind the banner that says breaking now. So this, a very dangerous situation. People are outside, out and about. There is still a lightning threat across the Wessington Springs area, even as we're not seeing the active tornado threat as that has moved north. But be careful if you're out there surveying what has been done. Watch out for the debris. Make sure you have good shoes on, good soles, because there's lots of nails that get exposed. And there is still weather going on across the area. It's still rain, still lightning. So still a dangerous threat here across the area.
Absolutely, Mark. And so the tornado threat continues. Right now, if you're just joining us, we're showing you right now what it looks like live in Wessington Springs after a tornado just moved through within the last 10 minutes. And tornado chaser Brandon Ivy is out there right now. He's actually stopped and probably out there maybe helping some folks.
Now, Kim, showing that this is a volatile situation. Right now, what Adam has kind of highlighted for us is the timing of another confirmed tornado just outside Lane. So if you are in Lane, take cover immediately. Get into your safest room, the lowest level of your building, putting as many walls between you and this storm as possible.
Right, so similar. I mean, we got one here, another one up in this area. So just like yesterday, looking at two areas where we have circulations or possible tornadoes. So here in, looks like Beetle under, I hope I say that right, a tornado warning. Also Gerald County, again, where the Wessington Springs tornado was, still under that tornado warning until 8:30 Central Time. So this is the southern part of this thunderstorm that we're seeing these circulations in here that are producing the tornadoes here tonight. So again, moving off towards the northeast, 8:15 tornado warning. Get to your safe shelter now.
And you notice, Kim, right as this continues to loop, look at this area right here, a bit of a cell merger, two different thunderstorms collided together. Sometimes when we see that on radar, that's what gives that extra little kick. That's what gives that extra spin, and it might be part of the reason why we now have the two different circulations going through the area.
That's a good point, Mark. Absolutely. And a lot of times you get tremendous amounts of rain with
we have the tornado on live stream.
Now we have live a tornado. I believe we're going to show you guys. I'm not sure which one it is, but we'll go to that momentarily.
North of Wessington Springs.
This is north of Wessington Springs. This is the same one that moved through. And Mark, it does look like at least
R9.
It's still probably doing damage. It's still on the ground, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, still on the ground there. We can clearly see that kind of white funnel, and it does reach to the ground. There are trees blocking your view now, but as you get a clearing, you can see that it is touching the ground. A very well-developed storm, a dangerous thunderstorm that has at least one, if not two, tornadoes. This is one of the tornadoes. We're now north of Wessington Springs, and this car that we're looking out of is moving north because this is Doug Kiesling. You know what? The storm is moving north and away from Wessington Springs, so is this chaser, and there's a clear view. Oh, there's another big burst of debris there across the area. Adam, while we're talking about this in the background, if we can pull this, if we can, to any of the HD radars and show the correlation coefficient, we might be able to actually see that debris as to what the radar is seeing.
All right, and well, we're going to go ahead and show you momentarily, but again, still looking live right now, just north of Wessington Springs, a tornado that has actually done damage in Wessington Springs. We continue to watch it as it moves north, and the tornado warning off to the south. So damage has been done. Haven't gotten any word about any injuries as of yet. Chasers are in the area, and we've been getting some reports of some pretty big damage in this town.
Yeah, Kim Cunningham, Mark Elliott here with you at the Weather Channel. You are not seeing your regularly scheduled programming right now. Instead, we are following two very dangerous thunderstorms across the Dakotas where there are active tornadoes right now. The Wessington Springs area has sustained some damage. It's a tough area, as we have seen those streams going in and out. You lose cell service, you lose the stream. There's lots of rain, fade, and weather in the way. But when we get those live pictures, we'll be sure to bring them to you. Here's the wide view for you on the radar. Kim, what are you looking at here? What concerns you right now?
Well, still looking at those tornado warnings in North Dakota as well. We've had some confirmed reports here as well. So, and everything's lifting off towards the north and east. So we still have a couple of active tornado warnings, especially this cell right here, this part of the thunderstorm, where it's kind of bowing out in here. We're probably going to see some very strong winds with it, but also a tornado may be on the ground right now. It's heading up towards the northeast, so and edgely. It may just miss you to the north, but I would take cover in Dickey, Lemoore, and Logan County right now. And as you can see, as the green is toward the radar, the red is away. Just the fact that we've got a really, really distinct edge right here is telling me there's some very strong winds in there.
So
but maybe right in here,
A and B.
there may be a little tornado, or I shouldn't say little. There's a circulation right in here, and possibly a tornado on the ground right now.
Yeah, clear views. One of those almost on the gusty winds part of a thunderstorm, and you have that kind of backward C shape on the radar. The northern fringe or the western fringe of that, the air has to bend back on in, and that's where you can sometimes see a tornado, and that's where that's the right center of that tornado watch right now.
That's right, and we're timing this out for you guys. If you're in Swede, 8:18, it'll be there. Here in Glenmore, it should be there by 8:39. So now is the time to get the kids together, get to the basement, get the littlest one to your home. Interior room, stay away from the windows, be safe, put on a helmet. You know, if you got a motorcycle, your kids got bicycles, have them put their helmets on, get shoes on. Mark, good point. Always, you know, everybody walks around their house without shoes on. You got to get the shoes on. Very important.
Yeah, having all these things in your safest room now before these storms get you. If they're not in your area yet, but you are watching us and you are nearby, especially if you are just north of any of these tornado warnings.
We're going to show the video of the tornado that caused the damage earlier.
That's the video in case you have to run there, so you don't have to think about it later. Get the helmet in there. Get the shoes in there now.
Absolutely. Kidder County also under a tornado warning right along Interstate 94. So we have several tornado warnings here in North Dakota.
Video on the left will be the tornado moments ago
right now looking at tornado warnings and actually several confirmed tornadoes out there. And just to the left of your screen, this was moments ago in Girard County. This is the one that went through Wessington Springs, I believe.
Yeah, we were carefully following this from Brandon Ivy, who was sending us these pictures live. We were looking at them as you were, coming into us live. And as that storm develops and moves right over the Wessington Springs area, it was the exact worst timing as it was strengthening as the city approached, and we were watching the debris increasing as well, and now we see some damage in that area.
And we still have a tornado going in effect here for these areas. So moments ago, we're showing the video, what it looked like, but still, this may be on the ground doing damage. Still have a tornado warning in effect. Wessington Springs, at least right now, you guys are in the clear, or anybody in this area. It's mainly north here, but look at this couplet right in here.
Yeah, that is a dangerous-looking storm, Kim.
It sure is, and this may be having a tornado on the ground as well around Lane. If you're in Lane, tornado may be on the ground right now doing damage. It's heading north in Alpena. If you live in Alpena, get to your shelter now. 8:29, the tornado may be in your neighborhood, and eventually in Virgil about 8:58.
Now, one thing to note here is that we do have two separate tornado warnings that do overlap, and these storms are not moving all that quickly. Here's another live view of that tornado on the ground. This one is in Woonsocket, and you know what? We have been following both of these tornado signatures on the radar. This is that same circulation that we were just looking at outside of the Lane area. So again, another very well-defined storm. Look at that, a classic tornado. Hopefully not hitting any towns right now because it would be doing damage. With that tornado all the way to the ground. A very clear signature on the radar right now, and obviously we're seeing the live images as we cross these trees. Let's see what we're going to see here on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, there we go.
That is a big tornado on the ground.
All right, so again, this is east of Wessington Springs now. A signature very evident right here with the couplet, we call it, possibly a tornado doing damage to it's hard to tell if there's a town behind those trees, but you can see here, right is where the tornado might be, just to the northeast of Lane, as we're zooming into this area. There we go. We're looking at 227th Street.
390th Ave right there. So it's impossible to say that the tornado is exactly right there, but if you're familiar with this area, that gives you an indication as the general zone where this tornado might be. Remember, the radar beam is kind of arcing its way away from the ground. The further away from we are from the beam, the higher it is in the air. So we can't say that's exactly where it is at ground level, but it's nearby there, especially considering that we have that clear indicator of the reds and the greens and blues right next to each other. And, of course, on the left side of your screen, we are still watching that active tornado right now.
So we've got the confirmation. We're seeing the visual. We've got it on radar. We're tracking it to the northeast. If you're in Alpena, seriously, get to your shelter now. Again, a confirmed tornado moving towards you. Take it seriously. Get to the basement. Don't get out there and try to get pictures. It's near Woonsocket right now here in South Dakota, heading towards the northeast. It'll get to Alpena about 8:22 local time.
Now, we are continuing to follow both the radar, what the technology is seeing and how it is trying to track a tornado, and we have the live views on the left side of your screen. That is the same storm. We are looking at the same thing right now below us on your screen and on the left side of your screen. Those two storms are the same. We are looking at the radar and the active tornado.
What's interesting, Mark, is that Dr. Forbes was talking about this yesterday, how they kind of cycle, or one tornado weakens and moves north. Is what happens here in Wessington Spring. Another one took over. That's the one near Lane. Now that is the stronger tornado, and we're looking at a debris signature in there. It is doing damage. Where you see the blues in here, that's indicating it's not a meteorological what am I trying to say, Mark?
So the radar doesn't scans both up and down and side to side at the same time. And the weather, the meteorological stuff out there is about the same. It's all spherical. It's generally round. Debris tumbling around, bouncing off of stuff. It's irregular. The radar says that is not rain. That is not hail. And so it gives us that big blue dot. And that's one of the indicators that there is a tornado in progress. Of course, we also have the indicator right here, a huge tornado right there. That is a scary sight on the screen there, Kim. And again, all of you are watching this as we are watching it. It's why we keep kind of looking down. We are trying to see exactly what you are seeing on the screens. There's a house there, man. That is very close. A very scary scene there for those people.
Yeah, and guys, we're looking right now at the radar as this is moving off towards the northeast, and you can see, look at the trees. They're really the inflow into this tornado. And you see homes right there, and hopefully this is past that already. It's hard to tell as the chaser is heading. Well, we stopped right now. We were having some trouble with signal.
He's trying to get another road. I can tell that move. I've been out there tracking in this area of the country, and he's trying to get around that little town and try to get another view on the other side. Hopefully that tornado did just miss that area, but it's a very dangerous storm that we are still following, and we're going to continue to follow it. Just a few minutes away, we'll be back following these storms for you, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to an extended edition of Weather Center Live. We are following active tornadoes right now. A tornado that we were following live on air crossed over a road and directly in to the Wessington Springs area. You can see the debris cloud around that funnel rapidly increasing right here, and that is the town of Wessington Springs. A very scary moment or two for that town, and we haven't heard yet about any injuries, but we certainly have had plenty of reports and views of debris caused from this tornado.
As a matter of fact, I believe some of the firefighters are out there right now taking a look at some of the damage, but as you can see, as this crossed the road, it just kind of exploded, and that's when it was hitting the town and just destroying some of these homes.
Next we'll show
as it crossed over the interstate right before our eyes, because we were live locally here tonight in this area, warning folks about the tornado threat.
There is actually a call out for any available first responders to help out the Wessington Springs area. In the image you're looking at here, this is Brandon Ivy's live.
We don't have that.
You're seeing exactly what we are seeing for the first time. Insulation strewn about, siding of a house. The tree has been kind of sheared off, not many leaves left, and people walking around trying to assess the damage, and we have seen some fire rescue personnel walking around in this area as well in Wessington Springs. And what they're going to be doing here, Kim, is going door to door and trying to make sure that everyone is okay. They will tag houses with paint and spray paint to try to let other responders know that this area has already been searched. So that's the kind of thing that these people are doing right now in the immediate aftermath of a tornado in Wessington Springs.
And so our hearts and prayers go out to these folks for sure. But we still have that threat tonight for tornadoes. We want to bring you up to date on that continuing threat. We have a tornado watch in effect. Conditions continue to be right for tornadoes to develop until 2 o'clock in the morning. At least this watch is in effect until 2 a.m. until 9 p.m. farther north into parts of North Dakota. So until 2 a.m. on the eastern side. So keep an eye on this. Not everybody will see tornadoes, obviously, but there are a few isolated thunderstorms that are producing these tornadoes tonight. Just like the last couple nights, watching one thunderstorm doing most of the damage, and we're seeing that right here in South Dakota.
Now, one thing to note here, we have overlapping tornado warnings. You're going to get in a warning, and you might be in it for a long time. Do not think that just because a tornado warning and you've been in your safe room for 10 minutes or so that you're out of the woods. With these slow-moving storms and with storms that have multiple areas of rotation and potentially multiple tornadoes within the thunderstorm, you need to just wait this one out in your safest spot, as we have seen tornadoes on the ground and we have seen damage already tonight.
And we continue to see what we call the couplet, indicating to us that there still is a tornado, a possible rotation, a tornado on the ground doing damage in this area here. So we're still concerned about folks in Alpena as it's maybe heading towards you as we speak. So we're really hoping you guys are taking this seriously, actually looking off to your left and seeing the actual tornado should be enough for you guys to get to your safe room. So do it now. And we're looking actually maybe up there right now, in there around Alpena, just to the southwest. So it's right in here. And if it continues on that track, and we have a debris signature in here, that's what we're looking at right here. We see the blues in here. That's indicating there's debris. It's still doing damage. This is heading towards Alpena. If you live there, please, please, please get to a shelter now.
Yeah, this is a dangerous storm, a very dangerous situation for the town of Alpena. No indicators that this storm will be falling apart in the next few minutes. So we are concerned for Alpena. We want you in your safest room, putting as many walls between you and the storm as possible. The lowest level of basement if you have one, but definitely get as many walls between you and this storm as possible.
All right, so let's go ahead and time it out if we could. And Adam, see when Alpena is expecting this to be near them. Looks like about 8:22, so we have probably about another
10 minutes
and that's it. So you guys, you don't have much time. Get there now, and beyond that, if this continues
with a storm chaser
stay there. Actually, sometimes when this happens, we'll get this to the week when it develops farther south and east. But at least right now, that is the main tornado that is heading towards Alpena. So you guys don't have much time, maybe 10 minutes.
In Alpena. Kenny
Now,
Allen.
we do have a storm chaser, storm tracker out there on the line near Alpena, I believe, the area that we were just talking about. Kenny Allen joining us now. Thanks for taking the time. What are you seeing out there right now?
Hi, guys. We're just south of Alpena. This is Kenny Allen from SevereSituation.com and SevereStudios.com. We have a stovepipe tornado that is rain-wrapped. If you're able to take my feed,
yeah, we are looking at that right now, Kenny.
Yeah, you can see that right in the middle of the screen. It is gray and it is rain-wrapped, so it's hard to define. But the circulation at the bottom is about a block wide.
R9.
It has caused damage. This storm has produced multiple tornadoes this evening.
By R9.
We have damage in other towns called Wessington Springs. This storm it's actually moving almost due north. It is moving east a little bit, so this is going to go northeast right into Alpena, South Dakota next. So we're very concerned about this.
Yeah, and we've been talking about that too, and the fact that it's kind of an odd signature on the radar. If you look at it, you don't really see, actually look at the base reflectivity. But rain wrapped for sure is what we're seeing. And look at this, look at this. Wow, it's still doing damage out here tonight.
And guys in the control room, what video is on right
now?
Doug
Kiesling's live stream near Alpena.
Okay, so we're also looking at Doug Kiesling's live stream near Alpena while we're talking to Kelly Allen.
Guys, I have to drop off here to get to a safer location.
Okay, please stay safe out there. Very dangerous night. Thanks, Kenny, for your time. Look at Doug's image, though. We are watching a tornado in progress on the ground. Debris cloud increasing as this tornado remains on the ground right in front of our eyes.
And it's mainly rural areas, but there are some small towns that are actually in the path of this tornado, including Alpena. Coming into Alpena right now. Take cover immediately. We're looking right now at the velocity data, and maybe it's kind of hard to tell on this. It's still right in this area here
We're going to continue
in
after the
Alpena,
break.
and again, maybe rain wrapped. You can't see it, especially if you live north and east of town. And look at this. Look at that visual of this tornado. Wow. Again, reports of damage being done by this.
A classic stovepipe tornado, unfortunately extremely close to Alpena, South Dakota.
Am I going to break or not?
Gets very close to town. You need to be in your shelter
right now.
We are following this storm for you through the commercial break, and we'll be back right after that. Welcome back to a very dangerous edition of Weather Center Live. We are following live tornadoes for you across the Dakotas, including this one just south of Alpena. And this storm is moving towards the north. A live view provided by Doug Kiesling, a tracker in the area. Kim, a very dangerous situation for Alpena unfolding in front of our eyes.
That's right. It's moving through the town right now, and hopefully everybody is taking shelter. We've been watching the southern end of this line of storms that has been producing the tornadoes here tonight. This is moving through the town of Alpena. You're watching live right now. If you're just joining us, you are not watching your regularly scheduled program because we are bringing you the very latest on this tornado here in South Dakota, doing damage right now to the town of Alpena, South Dakota.
So what we're going to do here is that we have multiple trackers on this same storm. Doug Kiesling has been providing one storm. Kenny Allen has been providing another view. Here's basically the entire storm structure at once. On the right side of the screen, you can see the supercell thunderstorm, that kind of rounded edge up towards the top with a clear tornado coming out of the bottom of that wall cloud. On the left, a zoomed-in version of that tornado. You can see the debris cloud, that kind of darker gray towards the bottom, towards the ground. You can see that on both images as this tornado is certainly picking up debris and causing damage as we watch it. A very scary sight.
And Kiesling is on the right, I believe. So that's what we're looking at right now with that tornado. That's his shot right now. So watching this tornado moving through the town of Alpena. This is with a line of storms moving through South Dakota. And Mark, it may throw some people off as moving north. So a lot of times they move northeast, but all of a sudden this one's kind of jogged a little bit and moving more towards the north. And it might have caught some folks off guard a little bit. Yeah,
with the motion of these storms, you're going to get into the extremely heavy rain and hail and then be hit by a tornado if this tornado is in your path. And so that is a very dangerous situation as you are already going to have your home or your car battered by the wind and the hail.
Can you get this ready on the radar to show the close-up of this on the radar?
Weaken some trees, weaken some structures, and then you have the tornado itself. coming in across the area as well.
So all that rain, so you may not see it, is another thing we're trying to tell you. You may not see this real clearly as it's getting closer.
Go ahead, Aaron.
So that's why this is very dangerous in a situation like this. Again, if you're in Alpena, tornado moving through the town right now, and we're looking at it on our radar as we speak. And Wessington Springs hit earlier by a separate tornado. Now another one developed to its southeast, and we tracked it moving up towards the north, and it's right in this area here where the tornado is as we speak. So the southwestern part of the storm, but we have all this rain and hail, as you talked about, Mark, to get through. And looking at, we're in between radar, so it's kind of hard to tell on the velocities. But it's probably north of Alpena at this time. And earlier we did have a debris signature with this, so it did do damage moving through the town of Alpena and moving towards the north. Again, moving up in this direction, so you're going to get a lot of rain and hail before it gets there.
Yeah, and Kim, we can actually sort of start to see the structure here. If you can imagine this being the hook echo and this one of the storms, and then we have another one down here, and so both of these areas are where tornadoes could possibly be right now. It's hard to see because we're far from the radar, but there's one area of concern, and here is another, and so those are the regions that we're carefully watching outside of Woonsocket, outside of Alpena, right now across South Dakota.
All right, so guys, we're going to time this out. Let's move it out from Alpena, Adam, and show folks farther north what they can expect. If you are inclined, this eventually will get probably back to you guys here about 9:04. So now is the time to get to your safe room. Again, hail, especially where you see, I don't know if on this scan or not, but there was some like maroon color, or not maroon, but fuchsia colors in there. There we go. Some of those purples in there. That's where some of the hail may be hiding. You may be getting hail first, and then the tornado coming through.
And Kim, on the left side of the screen right now, we are looking at Wessington Springs. This was the first town in the line of this severe thunderstorm that had a tornado. So we are seeing some of the damage right now. Look at the utility crews already coming in, the big tractors coming in to help clear debris and clear the roads. So as we speak, the response is underway. Look at that on the left side of your screen. There's one of those signs torn apart by the wind. It's getting dark there now. There is no power. The street lights are not on. So a very dangerous night ahead for those of you with these storms in South Dakota.
The fact that it's getting dark, too, is a bad thing,
too.
Okay, so again, after this in Alpena and Wessington Springs, at least what I can see, at least right now, you're in the clear. But here's a look at the tornado. Is this live right now?
Live near Alpena.
This is live near Alpena right now. Now, it looks a little thinner.
Are we killing the next break?
At this point. Earlier, it was a nice stovetop tornado. And this one kind of looking a little bit more, maybe not as strong as it was earlier, but
still strong enough that it's throwing some debris around. So take this one seriously. Also, look at the grass there.
We're doing another
that is being blown around by inflow winds. Wind racing back towards the storm itself. And look, there's actually we're moving at the same time, so it's a little bit hard to tell. But the grass is absolutely whipping around. And remember, we pointed out two separate areas on the screen. One near Alpena, where that tornado in progress. It may be trying to cycle and refresh the stronger storm off towards the south from there. So Floyd and Clifton, if you are listening right now, you need to also be in your safest room, as you may see at the moment two tornadoes in progress across the area.
And Adam, are we able to show the correlation coefficient real quick to see if we can see if there's any debris?
So we're looking at the live stream of the tornado. We are also pulling up the correlation coefficient below us on the screen. This is what we use to try to see if the radar can detect debris across the area. Not exactly the clearest sign right now, but we're also very far from the radar site, so it's a bit hard to be able to tell if there is an active tornado in that way. Of course, we've been looking at active tornadoes with our chasers, including right there on the left side of your screen. Near Alpena right now, still a strong tornado, still on the ground, still with that kind of debris cloud, that darker gray, the dirt and dust being picked up and thrown around that funnel. So a dangerous storm right now.
And let's go ahead and let's show the southern end of this and see if there's anything going on here, Adam. If we could, come down here and look in this area and see what there's a tornado warning on the southern end down in this area. If we could possibly take a look down in here. There you go. Because now they have Floyd and Beetle and Sanborn County under a tornado warning. So it could be somewhere in this area here. They're seeing a little bit of rotation in here. So possibly, as you mentioned, Mark, earlier, that Alpena getting hit with a tornado. It does look like, well, I mean, it still looks like it's doing damage for sure.
Standby screen 3 full.
North and west of Alpena right now.
Dissolve.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we
so
go.
Off to the side of your screen, where Kim is pointing out with the blue arrow, you see the red colors and the green colors next to each other. Green colors meaning wind going towards the radar site. Red colors are moving away. Think about holding a pen between your two hands. If they're moving in different directions, that pen will spin. That's the kind of theme that we're seeing with these tornadoes right now.
Right. So that's an area we're watching, but also this other tornado warning further south. Maybe this one's starting to weaken a little bit and starting to see another one starting to develop with this other tornado warning effect for Beetle and Sanborn County. So you guys get to your shelter now. That's until 8:45 Central Time.
So Kim, some dangerous storms across the Dakotas tonight. We will, of course, continue to follow these storms for you and watch them as they develop. If storms get bad enough in your area, we will certainly jump back in. We're going to try to go back to local programming for the moment. But again, we're watching these storms carefully for you, and you can always get your forecast by going on to weather.com.